I have to be honest with you guys, I'm not a particularly great designer. I know my thumbnails are all beautiful and really well made, but yeah, design's never been my strong suit. I came from backend. I don't know why I'm here. Regardless, I've managed to get by for the most part, taking advantage of resources like ShadCN UI, Tailwind UI, and getting feedback from a lot of y'all. But I wanted to go further, especially after I finished this update to the Upload Thing homepage, because yeah, it's not great. I'm not going to sit here and pretend this is beautiful. It is nice as you scroll through, things are fine, but largely because I grabbed it from a template from Tailwind UI. The actual layout, specifically this giant folder icon here, that's not great. That's just a random icon I grabbed from Hero Icons. And as soon as I posted this, I got roasted, as I should have. But I'm not capable of doing this right. And sure, I could go hit up a couple firms and pay them far too much money to make something that's okay, but I want to do things a bit different. I know how talented this community is, and I decided to make this a contest instead. Last week, I made a tweet where I announced this contest, allowing for anybody to submit their own designs for the new Upload Thing homepage, specifically the banner, but people went way further than that. I did this knowing that things would be both a little controversial because I'm asking for free work, and also knowing that I would get a decent number of bad as well as good responses. What I did not expect was the sheer absurd level of both positivity around me doing this, as well as the quality of responses I got. The things that you guys made are unbelievable, and normally I would just showcase the best ones and move on, but I'm not going to do that. The first part of this video is going to be me going through basically all of the submissions, saying what I like about them, a little bit of what I dislike, and then telling you about the person. The end is where things will get interesting. Previously, I had planned to give $500 to the winner and also donate $500 to charity based on which charity they want. I'm about to spend a hell of a lot more money than that because it felt very, very unfair to not compensate most of these designers for their work. So we'll get there. But first, we have to go through the majority of these submissions because there's a lot of good things in here and we can all learn from it. So make sure you stick to the end if you want to see all the people who got money and the incredible designs that they made, because again, I could never have fathomed it would be as good as it is. I am still blown away. I've been busy and I still can't stop thinking about it. So I'm going to sit here and take the time to showcase all of these people's awesome work. Also, if you happen to be showcased in this video and you're looking for work, make sure you comment such. And also feel free to take any part of this video and use it to increase the likelihood that you get hired. If you're showcased in this video, you're good enough to have a job in tech, almost certainly good enough to have a design-leaning job in tech. And I'm more than happy to help make sure that happens and get all of you guys into awesome positions. So let's go through these submissions. Here's the first one. And this is an awesome animation. I really like how it showcases the different types of things you can upload with Upload Thing. It's files, images, and the cloud. I think the arrow is a little fast moving. I don't know how much of that's the GIF that he uploaded versus the actual animation, but the difference in the speeds was the biggest hesitation I had here. It also didn't feel enough like it was a thing a user was doing. Still a phenomenal design. Huge shout out to Adam for making this. Next, we have Sensory's submission here, which is again an animation, but this one's posted as a video. I like this one a lot, and I think it's better than what we just showed simply because it showcases the actual file being uploaded, which is the value of the service. However, it has an icon on the screen that looks like a cursor, which can be very confusing as you're scrolling the site. Biggest hesitation here. Still really good, but not quite what we were looking for, and I had some hesitations there. Thank you again, Sensory, for this submission. Tons of potential here. Next, we have Enigma Studio. And I'll be honest, this is one of the most beautiful, just by the raw, beauty of what they made. It's so good. I'm a sucker for these 3D things, but the reflections, the upload thing on the folder, these code symbols around and the code inside. Honestly, my biggest hesitation is that what was inside was code and not more representative of the files that users might upload. But this is absolutely stunning. And if it wasn't a late submission, almost certainly would have made it into the final round. Regardless, absolutely beautiful. Give Enigma Studios a follow if you're interested in this type of thing. And if they're not already very well employed, yeah, this is the type of thing I would pay a lot of money for. You should consider working with them. Next, we have Draken, who made a beautiful hero here. Also, I've noticed they provided separate light and dark mode options, so I can swap between them depending on the place that we're actually putting it. And it also shows the web page is uploading to the cloud. The one hesitation is it doesn't do a good enough job, again, showcasing files as the things that are being uploaded. It's just browser pointing at cloud. But all the iconography and design work here is beautiful. And you have a bright future going in the direction of Design Drake, and if that's what you end up wanting to do. Next, we have another one of the ones that I really wish it could have made it to the final round. From UB Patrick Restore on Twitter. A beautiful, subtle animation. You got these two computers and their screens and things subtly moving up as they're uploaded to the cloud. Again, it's the not showcasing files thing quite enough, but it's still just stunning. And on an aesthetic level, one of the coolest things anybody made. And it's a real animation that you can like go to a webpage and see in the browser. So it's not like they just filmed this with After Effects or something. This is an actual element. Huge bonus points for making it something usable like that. It is stunning. You should be proud, Patrick, and I certainly hope you can get a job doing this stuff if you don't already have one. Namer did a bunch of revisions on his, and what he made here is actually quite cool. I think it leans a bit too much into my YouTube direction with the thumbnail from the video embedded right below with all the icons here. This is an idea I was playing with, having like different file types sticking out. I was disappointed at how hard it was to make it look good. He got a lot closer than I did, but it's still a bit hard to see what's actually inside of here. But the actual site redesign here is beautiful. The black with the slight glow, the spinning around of the button. There's so much here. Also, when you hover there, the icons all come out. It's stunning. I have no idea what this ever could have looked like on mobile, but man, he was really onto something here. It's beautiful. And honestly, I would consider hiring him for our design if it wasn't for the fact that we found someone else as well. But Namer, you have a really bright future ahead of you. And seriously, if you're a founder or a developer trying to get somebody to help you on your homepage, this is incredible. Definitely reach out to Namer here. Next, we got a nice simple one from Crom Mob. I do love the simplicity, and it really fits with what we were doing originally. I'm not sure about the iconography for this and like the extra line cuts here. I'm not super sure of. It is very unique, but the subtlety of these might not fit like favicon quite well. I don't think it's necessarily using the space great here either, but it does a great job of playing into the file into cloud idea. With a couple revisions, this could definitely have gone really far, and especially as a logo, there's a lot of potential here. But when you're competing with all these fancy animations, it's tough. Doesn't mean you don't have a bright future designing logos, and I love what you were onto here. Might even hit you up in the future to help us figure out our logo, because we don't really have one right now. Thank you, Crom Mob, for your work here. Then we have Ignacio Correa building a beautiful vector-based redesign of the site. You might notice he also made a new logo up in the corner here, which is super cool. But man, this dotted background pattern with the black and the subtle fading in and out is stunning. A couple people had this like globe or map idea, but he had one of the best executions of it. My only hesitation is he leaned heavily on this logo that I don't think fits our brand particularly great, but there's a lot here to love. And I could have seen this becoming our direction for sure. Really takes the best influences and inspirations from a lot of other services and a lot of other nice marketing sites. I love where he was going here. Great stuff. The seventh, Keishin, made a really good submission here as well. This one leaned even further into the whole make it look like files thing, where you had a folder that had files being dropped into it. Tons of potential here. A little bit minimal for my taste, and the upload thing split wasn't my favorite thing. Tons of potential regardless. Excited to see what you end up doing, 7th. This one was cool. I actually really liked that he split the video so it could show the before and after, although it made it a little hard to see just the after. But man, beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Would have been a pretty big departure for the design direction we were going, as we really wanted to lean into the minimal nature. But if we weren't, man, this, God, I hate to say it this way, because I promise, I don't mean this as an insult. This would have been a killer crypto site. And for most dev tools, it probably fits really well as well. Just not quite what we were going for, but still absolutely stunning. Helfa, you killed it. Great work on this. Keeping it simple. As you guys know, I love that they're keeping it simple. They also dropped a Figma link here. This one was honestly one of my favorites. It's not quite enough going on to really showcase what we want to here, but man, this had so much potential. Especially, I didn't play with the prototype much, but if it moved around based on like how you scrolled and stuff, super nice. Just a little too sparse and doesn't quite fill out the space or make it quite clear enough what's happening. But aesthetically speaking, animation-wise, the fact that you had a Figma prototype and all that, awesome. It was hard for me to not go in this direction, but wait till you guys see the ones at the end. I think you'll understand. Huge shout out to Parapaco for making this. Love what you're up to. Next, we have Ryan 616575008. This one was folded under the spam like see more thing, which is a shame because it's one of the best ones that was submitted. Here we have it actually showing the upload progress, different file types, an arrow pointing it at us to the try it now to indicate like that's where you should go next. Also a redesign of the top nav and the background here. Tons of potential. I can tell just from this that Ryan's a good hire because he very tastefully fixed and changed the right set of things to make his work fit properly. That's an engineering mindset. But having that mindset as a decent designer, super rare. Potential unicorn hire here. Definitely chat with Ryan. Not sure if you're looking for a job or not, but really good work on this. Then we got Minuja, Lens Flicker on Twitter. And his wasn't animated. He planned to animate it in the future. I would have asked him to if it wasn't for the submissions that we're getting to in a bit, but this was beautiful. Biggest hesitation was that the files weren't clearly different types of files and the mouse cursor thing again, because I don't like having cursors on pages because you have a cursor already and it gets really confusing. Even now, I was almost forgetting which cursor was mine. Really good vibe, really strong potential. Would have loved to see the animation, but didn't want to make somebody do that if they weren't in the running for the lead. Regardless, Minuja, appreciate what you did a ton. Now we have Arito Kun, who made a really cool, almost like Slack style graphic before what was the company? Ueno. It's like Bueno, but without the B. They got acquired by Twitter, and then everybody got laid off when Elon acquired them. But it has that aesthetic of like the personal, like the humans, but cartoony thing. My one hesitation is it feels like these two people were designed by different artists. But this does look great and lean into the file thing. Literally the file cabinet. I do love the idea of a file cabinet being representative of us. This gave me a lot of ideas I plan to explore in the future, but I didn't really want to push the person angle here. It's just not the vibe we're going for, especially because there's nothing else like this anywhere else in our branding. But if that is the vibe you're going for, this could be killer, especially if you have like these people as characters that recur throughout the page. Oh, so much potential here. Really excited with this one. I see a very bright future for you, Arito, especially as a designer and a graphics artist. Definitely keep going in this direction. And now we're getting into some of the real fun animations. Here we have one from Physics Memes. Yeah, an account called The Physics Memes decided to participate. And they made a beautiful submission. It's stunning. The smoothness of the animation, the fact that the box rotates in 3D even though it feels 2D. There is so much to love here. My only hesitation is the transparency felt a little bit weird, and this would have taken all of the attention on the page. It's just slightly not subtle enough. Oh, the red one. The red one was so good. This was my favorite for a bit. I was almost certainly going to pick this one. Yeah, this is incredible. If you're looking for a 3D artist, Physics Memes, I guess, crazy enough, is the place to go. You know what? I'm giving him a follow back. He put a lot of work in. It's pretty cool having an account like this, make it something like this. Thank you so much, man. Fantastic submission. Now we have Christian Posca. Thank you so much for your submission. This one got me thinking a lot about the layout of the homepage and the way that files move, so to speak. The Tron style grid where things move around was super promising. I saw a lot of potential in this direction. It just would have required a lot of additional changes to the homepage. And honestly, some crazy submissions were starting to come in, but this would have absolutely been top running. Honestly, when I first saw this, I thought it was probably going to be the winner. And then the submissions really ramped up. Timmy's been around for a while. Always good to see you, man. Made a honorable follow-up to the original design by doing a folder icon, but making a nice, simple, unique one that's detailed enough to fit on the page, and also made some changes to how I have the copy set up here. The red on the and safer thing is very nice, and I'm probably going to steal that. So thank you, Timmy, for swinging by as always, and for the work you did on this. I don't think Timmy is currently employed as an engineer, and I know they deserve it. Definitely reach out to Timmy if you're looking for a quality full stack dev that's capable of design, and also somebody who's been around for a while. Easy vouch for me. And now Graham. Graham is an accessibility advocate I've chatted with a bunch in the past. Phenomenal dev, really cool dude. Didn't know he had design chops, and I was blown away with this. This submission was super cool, and I probably would have went with it initially if it wasn't for somebody saying that it looks like the world is being bombarded by nuclear bombs. But the concept here of the world and files being uploaded was so good. And a bunch of other people ended up playing with the ideas here and making really cool stuff. So huge shout out to Graham. If you need somebody to help you make your services accessible, a consultant to help get your front end stuff together, or you just want to experiment with a designer that really knows what they're doing, Graham the Dev is an easy recommendation on my part. Next, we have Procker, who made a really cool thing that I'm going to steal this idea in the future. I I'm sure I've stumbled on something like this before, but I can't remember where. This was so, so cool. I love the way they cut into the page and use a glow to give it a sense of depth. Like this is actually cut from the page. I love this. I am absolutely going to be stealing this pattern. Also, Procker's profile, his specifically his portfolio, is a fake Mac built into the browser. He made a full window movement and management system, a bunch of additional features, working settings tab, a news page, and so much cool shit. This is one of those rare people that is super competent as a designer, as a developer, and as a clear thinker and communicator. Like, you don't just make this. You have to have this idea and then execute it this tastefully. So, so cool. Please give Procker a follow, and potentially even a job if this type of thing aligns with what you're up to as a business. And I will almost certainly be taking inspiration from this design with things I work on in the future. Phenomenal work, Procker. Even if you rickrolled me later on. Yes, he somewhere in his site, the mock app, there's a hidden rickroll, which is the second time I'd been rickrolled that day. We'll have a good troll regardless. And now, before we get to the finalists, one more fun one. The classic folder being passed to us to store. We might end up using this in the docs as a joke because it's just beautiful and hilarious. There was surprisingly little trolling, and the little bit we got was really cool things like this. We got some crap AI submissions too, believe me, but we're not talking about those for a reason. We want to focus on the hard work people did to make awesome shit. Speaking of which, it's time to get into the finalists. As I mentioned before, the original plan was to pay $500 to the winner and then let them pick a charity to get another $500. That's not fair when I consider the quality of submissions that we saw here. So all of the submissions you're about to see are getting $200 out of my personal bank account because I feel like they need something. But on top of that, these are the winners of this crazy contest. And after everything you just saw, these are the best. You should absolutely be reaching out to these people and hiring them. And I know if they see you in their DMs saying, hey, I saw you in Theo's video. Your design was awesome. I would love to work with you. You have an opportunity to snag a phenomenal designer-developer hybrid. And those are rarer and more valuable than they've ever been. So seriously, take the opportunity to reach out to some of these people. They're doing awesome stuff, and you could be working with them. So I know I just said the rest of these people are getting a bonus. The first one isn't. Because I bought Mir a very expensive laptop in the past, and you used to edit for me, and I love Mir dearly, but I'm sorry, man, I'm not paying you for this. It is fucking stunning, though. I love the red glow on the try it out button. There's another site that does that. The Raycast, Raycast is the one that really started the idea of like the shiny button with the thing spinning around it. It looks beautiful, but clearly his design was very inspired by this. Doesn't mean it's bad. I actually think it's awesome. I love the grid in the background being revealed with the red gradient and then fading out into the gray. There's so much to love here. It just didn't quite feel like the vibe I was going for. So my decision to not go with this has nothing to do with the quality of the design. It used the right references, it learned the right lessons, and it's beautiful. It just doesn't quite fit the vibe we were going for. Next comes from Errol. His is incredible. This was my favorite for so long. I was relatively confident he was going to win. And I'll be honest, when I realized that he wasn't the winner, that's when I decided to pay a set of semifinalists because I loved this. And not giving him some money just felt dishonest. He hasn't animated it in this image. I don't know if he ever bothered to, and I'm thankful he didn't because it would have been even more work. But you can clearly see how this would have been a beautiful animation. It's nice and simple. He removed the cloud on top per my request, put some icons for different file types here. Oh, this was so good. I was so sure this was the winner. Massive shout out to Errol for this. Highly recommend him for a job. If he's able to do this that fast and is able to respond and understand my thoughts that quickly, every green flag I could possibly imagine. Easy hire. If I needed a designer, I'd be in his DMs right now. Next, we have Phil. Remember before I said people saw the thing with the world and went way further with it? He's the one who went way further. Both of his designs are stunning. Entirely different, but similar yet. And man, I loved it. The idea of the world and the map with the little file icons on it being underneath, supporting what we built with the red glow on top is stunning. Absolutely stunning. If I saw this homepage, I would assume the company had raised millions upon millions of dollars. That's the issue, though. It didn't quite fit the chill almost jovial attitude I wanted to have with it. Like I have a picture of my face on the homepage looking like a goof. This was a little bit too cool and serious for the aesthetic that we were going for. But man, it's fucking beautiful. It's so good. It's so good. And Phil, if you have any issues finding work, annoy me in my DMs and we'll find you awesome opportunities because you're too fucking good. Oh, I forgot. I'm currently trying to learn design. No, you are not, motherfucker. You learned design. You are so good. So yeah, somebody should hire him. He also said he doesn't want money, but he's getting money from me and he could get money from you too. If you need a designer who can write good code, here he is, right there. Hit him up. UI UX Phil on Twitter. Next, we have Jack. This one broke me. It was very hard to not use this one. I'm a sucker for 3D, admittedly, but man, this was so good. It's just so good. The two options too, the ASCII one, it's just such a cool concept, doing shading with ASCII and making it fit in the background while also being a really outstanding thing. The idea of the top half of the site being a canvas almost that has the text floating on top and this vibe happening in the background. Oh, so good. It was really hard to not pick this one. And honestly, I was about to, but my CTO, Mark, told me about some others I should check out first, which I did. And we'll get to those in just a second because man, this was stunning. Also of note is that Jack, who made this, knows how to do crazy 3JS animations with ASCII art. He made a 3D environment in ASCII. So if you want to make something truly unique, you want to make a beautiful experience for your users that is both well-designed and novel as fuck, this is unbelievable to me. Like truly hard to fathom how fucking cool this is. But also of note, that's the tan stack extension in the corner, which means he's a deep enough dev to deeply understand the value of using tan stack within a 3JS environment. Easiest hire in the fucking world. If we even had a smidgen of 3D code in my code base, I would have already hired him. But since we're not doing 3D stuff, at least right now, you can snipe him out from under me. As he said here, he'd love to help with design and dev work as well. Hit him up. You can hit him up. A person I want to hire could be yours. Hit up Jack. This is phenomenal. Jack's Portfolio is his handle on Twitter. And obviously, I'll be paying him as well. And now it is time for the finalists. Notice that I said finalists. There's a reason. I couldn't have one winner. I know we just had the semifinalists and I'm spending a bunch of money, but there was two designs I wanted. I know I did this to myself. I thought I was going to spend $1,000 and I'm like $3,000 plus in the hole here, but there had to be two winners. There had to be. And when you see these two designs, I think you'll understand. So I split things up a bit. The two winners are for two different things. The first winner is for the website redesign because he redesigned the entire site, which wasn't even the goal of the contest, but his design was just so much better that Mark's been working on it for the last 2 days to get it implemented. But then there's the grand prize winner, so to speak, the person who made the new hero image, well, animation. And we'll get to them in a second too, because I have a lot to say. So the winner of the redesign here is Tom Van Marienboer. Hopefully I got your name right. So sorry. We've been chatting a bunch since. Clearly a very talented dev and great at the whole dev designer collab thing. Gave us a bunch of useful feedback and info as we were implementing things. Did it all in Figma. Not enough rating about him. I just need to show you guys what he made because this is so beautiful. Even just his new hero here with the files floating could have won by itself. And the way it trails the oh God, it's so good. I'm so excited for this to be my homepage. Fitting in my little quote here in a way that doesn't feel super cringe, fixing the layout and the hierarchy of the page. It's a subtle thing, but the curve here makes the next chunk of the page so much more welcoming. I'm sure others have done it before, but I've never seen it. And it felt so good here, going from the dark with the slight grid in the background to the soft rounded cut to the bright white. And then changing the color and highlighting for the server and client code thing that we had here, making it actually fit the page, sneaking in the logos for all the things we support because I didn't have a chance to do that, did it for us. Also change the coloring of those so they all fit well. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. The glow on the background of the easily managed files, which is a section he made, by the way. We didn't have that. Another one of those rounded cuts, the nice glow on the background there. Plug in. I'm going to do a quick scroll of the current site so you guys can understand how much better this is. Here we have my server client code split. Here we have my page open split. Am I zoomed in here? No, I'm not. It's just too big. Then the worry about your app, not your bill. And that's it. He whipped my ass. It is hilarious, especially considering the fact that I announced this on the 11th and he had this on the 14th in the morning. Less than 2 days. As he said, I got carried away this weekend and ended up redesigning the whole page. Yes, you did. We're paying you accordingly. I offered to pay him more and he turned it down. So you're getting the $500. You're picking a charity for me to throw the other 500 at. And seriously, hire this man. What the fuck? This was so good. If I had any need for a designer on staff, I would be hitting him up immediately. And if I need a designer for future things, which I almost certainly will, he's now on my short list of people I'll be hitting up for designs going forward. Holy shit. But he's not the grand prize. But I have one more thing I need to say before we get to the grand prize. The grand prize winner used a tool called Rive. Rive is a new way to build animations into the browser, similar to using something like After Effects and Lottie, but way more performant, way more minimal, and from my experience, quite a bit better. I've been looking for an opportunity to work with and collab with Rive for a while. Haven't had a chance to play with it much yet, but the person who won did. She used Rive, and she used it in a way that is genuinely stunning. So much so that I reached out to the Rive team, and they offered to match the grand prize. So the grand prize winner is no longer getting $500. She's getting $1,000. And that is still not enough for what she made here. I just need to show you guys, okay? You're not ready. I know that because I wasn't ready. Here is the grand prize winner. I almost want to hide my face for it. I'm just going to zoom out. Look at that. You hover over, the things come together, and they all appear on a fake web page. It showcases all of the parts of what we do better than anything else even tried to. It shows a PNG, an MP4, and a PDF. It does have cursors, which I was hesitant on, but they're already in grab state and they're all close to each other. So it doesn't feel like it's taking my cursor and I don't get lost anywhere near as much. And they all come together and then show not only that the users can drop and upload these files on a drop zone, but also that they can now be embedded in your site. It covers the full spectrum of what we do, and I fucking love it. Thank you so much, Kayla, for the work you did here. It's beautiful. It's so good. We have since reached out to Kayla, grabbed the files to work on this, already paid her because, yeah, this needs to be paid for. And she was so hyped to hear that Rive was hyped on it too. So again, massive shout out to Kayla. Thank you to Rive as well for offering to match this prize pool. And if you want a beautiful, minimal design like this on your site, that is, I think the file size was like under 10 kilobytes for it. It's so good. Oh my God, it just looks stunning. We need to set it to replay the animation still. We're still figuring out Rive, okay? Fix your docs, boys. We've already chatted about it. I'm sure they will. But I want to show, just out of my nerdy curiosity, how big is the file? So the player for it is 498 kilobytes. The actual animation's only 5 megs. And it's a smooth, baked-in animation. That's so good. It's so nice having simple solutions for that work that well. And having the runtime be that small too, it's so good. And this includes, again, the redesign from Tom as well. And it's so much better. It's so stunning. I'm so proud of this. Going from what we started with, the absolute mess of a design that I threw together in 2 days, to this, gives me imposter syndrome. I'm not qualified for this shit. This is stunning. It's beautiful. And I owe all of you for participating, for making it possible for me to do stuff like this, and supporting us as we try to give back a bit. I hope you guys liked this because I was really scared going in, and I hope that you guys see my goals here were noble. I really wanted to showcase the awesome work this community was capable of, and I certainly spent a lot of money to make this happen. This video is going to be at a loss, but I don't care because this community is the ultimate win. Sincerely love all of you. Thank you to everyone who participated. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace, nerds.